people's bullshit. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid shit. Whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. But I haven't said that publicly. I just said y'all the first time. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because it's like people. It's so many things people say, so much stuff. But you know that one, it was your memes was doing too much. Y'all was having me mad.
Man, listen,
that show in San Diego.
Yeah. I did 2 shows in San Diego.
How was that?
It was flames, man. Just to like really, we did the full like unplug, strip down. You know how when I do a show, you know I got pyro and stuff flying around.
So you had a pyro there?
No, it was none of that. It was stripped down. It was stripped down.
Okay, so let's talk about this situation between Diddy and Will Smith. Things got messy. Apparently, Will Smith decided to air some of Diddy's personal business during a live performance. And we're not talking about a little playful ribbing. This was a full-on airing of dirty laundry, the kind that leaves you feeling exposed and, frankly, pretty humiliated. Now, anyone who knows Diddy knows he's not one to back down from a confrontation, and this was no exception. He was understandably furious. I mean, imagine having your private matters thrown out there for everyone to see, especially by someone you probably considered a friend or colleague. It's a serious breach of trust, and the kind of thing that can really damage a relationship. So, what happened when Diddy finally confronted Will about this very public display of disrespect? Let's get into the details and unpack this whole drama, because it's definitely a story worth hearing. The backstory to this whole Diddy-Will Smith drama is apparently rooted in some pretty serious allegations. Will Smith had been caught in the crossfire of rumors connecting him to Diddy and his, shall we say, controversial party scene. We're not talking about just a few casual get-togethers here. The whispers painted a picture of gatherings that were inappropriate, even bordering on scandalous. And as these rumors gained traction, they began to cast a shadow over Will Smith's own reputation. He was facing increasing pressure to address the allegations, to distance himself from the negativity swirling around Diddy and his entourage. He needed to make it crystal clear that he had nothing to do with whatever was going down at these parties. So what did he do? He chose a rather unconventional and ultimately explosive method of clearing the air, a comedy show. But this wasn't just a stand-up routine with a few jokes sprinkled in about Diddy. This was a full-blown roast, a public execution of Diddy's character and reputation. Those who witnessed it described it as an absolute onslaught, a no-holds-barred takedown that left the audience stunned. He reportedly went after everything: Diddy's personality, his business dealings, his lifestyle. Nothing was sacred. It was a brutal and very public attempt to not only disassociate himself from Diddy, but also to inflict maximum damage in the process. He was drawing a line in the sand, and he was doing it with a flamethrower. Now you have to imagine the fallout from this. Diddy, a man known for his pride and his own forceful personality, was not going to take this lying down. Being humiliated like that, especially in such a public forum, was a direct attack. It was a declaration of war. And so, the stage was set for a confrontation, a clash of titans, each with their own version of events and a whole lot of anger fueling the fire. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was a full-blown feud waiting to explode. For those of you who don't know about the show, this whole Will Smith and Diddy thing took a weird turn. Will was doing one of his shows, talking about Diddy, and let me tell you, it sounds like he was walking a tightrope.
I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all them memes. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil.
He started off by saying, "Some of this stuff is funny, but I haven't addressed any of this publicly," which immediately makes you think, uh-oh, what hasn't he addressed publicly? Then he goes on this whole rant, practically yelling, "I don't have to do with Puffy. Y'all can stop all that. Nowhere near no damn freak-offs." He's super defensive. almost like he's anticipating backlash. Will kicks off his whole rant by saying he's been hearing these rumors and just wants to clear the air. He emphatically denies any connection to Diddy and his activities, almost protesting too much. And then, as the audience starts laughing, he throws in this seemingly random comment, "I don't even like baby oil." Now this is where things get interesting. This seemingly innocuous statement is actually a thinly veiled jab at Diddy. Remember when Puff's house was raided and the feds found 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Yeah, that baby oil. The rumors surrounding the purpose of all that baby oil were, let's just say, not very flattering. They painted a picture of some pretty inappropriate activities happening at Diddy's parties. So, Will's comment about not liking baby oil isn't just a random aside. It's a calculated dig at Diddy, a way to further distance himself from the alleged debauchery and reinforce the idea that he has nothing to do with that kind of behavior. It's a subtle but effective way to throw shade while maintaining a veneer of plausible deniability. He continues by saying he usually doesn't respond to stuff because people say so much, but then admits something was getting under his skin. He says, "When it was your means was doing too much that was having me mad." It's unclear what exactly your means refers to, but it definitely sounds like Diddy, or someone associated with him, was pushing some buttons. The problem is, Will's emphatic denials are falling on deaf ears. Many people simply don't believe him, and it's not hard to see why. Will and Diddy have a long and well-documented history together. They're not just casual acquaintances. They've been seen together in various settings, both public and private, for years. The public remembers their interactions, and those memories clash sharply with Will's current narrative. Take, for instance, that Instagram Live they did together during the COVID pandemic. It was a widely viewed event, and the vibe between them was undeniably friendly, even affectionate. They were joking, reminiscing, and generally acting like two old friends catching up. Diddy, in a moment of apparent sincerity, even declared Will Smith to be his hero. That's not a throwaway comment. It suggests a deep respect and admiration. It paints a picture of a close bond, a genuine connection.
Said people got heroes.
Yo, son.
I'm talking about you.
You talking about what you?
So, but then you got that hero, that one hero. That's my brother Will Smith right here. Let's give him a round of applause. Happy Easter.
What's up, man? Family, what's the deal? What's happening, baby?
What's up, baby? I see we on you this quarantine pup talking to quarantine Will, and it's all it is ultra bright, radiant, glowing wisdom.
I love that. Yeah, we got our quarantine beards going on too.
So when Will now comes out with this almost aggressive denial of any significant relationship with Diddy, it feels disingenuous. It feels like a carefully constructed performance designed to protect his own image. It comes across as damage control, a desperate attempt to rewrite the narrative and distance himself from the increasingly negative press surrounding Diddy and his alleged activities. This performance, with its strange anecdotes, exaggerated reactions, and over-the-top denials, only serves to amplify the skepticism. It raises more questions than it answers, and it leaves the audience wondering what's really going on behind the scenes. What happened to cause such a dramatic shift in their public dynamic? Why is Will so adamant about severing ties with someone he once considered a hero? The whole thing just feels off, and the public isn't buying it. Now the whole show thing is incredibly strange and leaves you wondering what actually happened between these two. What was Will so defensive about? Is there something that he's hiding? It's a confusing and contradictory message, and honestly, it just raises more questions than it answers. Clearly, there's something deeper going on here, and this public display, whatever it was meant to be, just adds another layer of intrigue to the whole Diddy Will Smith saga. Even people online can see through his lies. One person wrote a comment saying, "Get out of here. Will is part of the society. He's just trying to save himself. Whoever believes this is just not smart at all. They are all involved." Another added, "Sit down, Will. You've been using baby oil since 1993 in 6 degrees of separation." Anyway, after that, more things started coming out. One guy online starts rambling about a visit to Diddy's house, and it gets interesting. He's describing the place, mentioning a chapel in the house, like, who has a chapel in their house? He's clearly trying to paint a picture of Diddy's over-the-top lifestyle. Then he talks about this dimly lit room, door cracked open, filled with TV screens and people glued to them, watching surveillance footage, a whole security team just monitoring Diddy's every move. He throws in a little, "I don't have that," just to emphasize the difference between them, like, "See, I'm not this paranoid."
This dude got like a chapel in his house.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen he got a whole chapel, I said. And then we just walking by all these rooms. And this one room, it was like the light was like, it was dark in there, and we just was walking by, but you could, the door was open just a little bit, and you seen all these cameras, and you seen like, it was like a bunch of TV screens, and we walked by, I was like, what's in that room right there? And he was like, oh, and he opened it, and it was like 10 people sitting at computers just watching. It was like security, like just watching his house, just watching the whole shit. And I was like, oh shit.
I don't have that. I don't have that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I'm pretty sure. You got people trying to break in. I know you beefed up your security.
And then he goes off on this whole tangent about trying to get through Diddy's security gate. He acts out the conversation with the guard, mimicking the back and forth about proper protocol. He keeps harping on this phrase, "What do you want?" Clearly, he felt slighted by the guard's less than formal greeting. He puts on this exaggerated, humble voice, complaining about how he was treated. He even acts out the confusion over his name, like the guard didn't recognize him. His experience about Diddy's extravagant house, with a complaint about being disrespected by his security. It's like he's trying to portray Diddy as both incredibly powerful and ridiculously out of touch. And through it all, he's subtly reinforcing this separation between them. He gets bogged down in the details of the security check at the gate, obsessing over how many people he should say are in the car. He recounts the guard checking the undercarriage of the car for bombs, painting a picture of extreme paranoia and security. Then, he shares the awkward moment of presenting his expired ID, joking about how they almost didn't let him in.
Some status or some here.
Yeah.
You know why I got a whole name, Will. I'm feeling like Will. So I done.
So you just ring the doorbell and tell security, yo, open the door, let's join the loop.
Nah. I pushed the button at the gate. We got like 3 gates. I pushed the button at the gate, and the dude talked to me through the intercom and said, what do you want? And I said, it's Jordan Lucas. I'm here to see Will.
He didn't say, what do you want? He did not say, what do you want? There are protocols of speech around here. He said, hello, sir, how may I help you?
Nah, he said, what do you want?
You heard what you heard. You heard, you want. That's what you heard when he said, sir, hello, how may I help you?
I said, what? He said, what do you want? And I said,
he didn't say, what do you want?
I said, sir.
Nobody in this house says, what do you want?
I said, sir, I'm here. I said, sir.
Oh, so you said, sir. So you said, sir.
I said, sir, I'm here to
Joker.
I'm here to see. I'm here to
sir,
see.
Sir.
Yeah, and my humble voice.
Hey, so you were doing like this. Your
I got my
rolling.
humble voice. I had my humble voice together. And soon he was like, "What do you want?"
What do you? Yeah,
and I was like,
Joker, you are hilarious.
I said, "Can I humbly?
No.
Can I humbly talk
geez.
speak to Will Smith?"
Please, boy.
He said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Jordan Lucas."
He didn't.
And every time I say who,
he didn't say who are you.
He says, "Who are you?"
He said the line that is strict protocol. He said, sir, may I have your name, please?
That's what you think he said. I got fired because I'm telling you that's not what he said. He said, what do you want? And I said, I'm here, sir. I'm here to see Mr. Will Smith. He said, who are you? And I said, I'm Jordan Lucas. And he said, who? That's exactly what always give me the who? And that's when I start feeling like I'm not no. And then they asked me how many people are in the car with you, right? And I said,
now that he
around,
did say.
See, I'm not lying.
No, the whole beginning was a lie.
The
last 10 minutes was a lie. That was the first thing you said that was true. How many people are in the car with you?
They say, how many people are in the car with you? And I said,
hold up, put my, come on. You got to accept me on TikTok, man. What you doing?
I already done accepted the invite.
You didn't.
Y'all
didn't.
All right. Except
there it is. And there we go.
Play-Doh House, again highlighting Diddy's perceived extravagance. Upon arrival, he's met with more security guards who question how he even made it past the first checkpoint.
Got me. We just did this, and somehow your youth is failing you.
No, listen. After I get to, they ask me how many people are in the car, and I tell them, there's 3 or 4 of us.
3 or 4. So you said there's 3 or 4 of us.
I'm like, yeah, there's 4
So
of us.
one of y'all jokers in the trunk.
They say,
one of y'all jokers in the trunk. How is it 3 or 4 of y'all? How you drove the whole way and you don't know if it's 3 or 4 of y'all in the car?
Because I'm counting the driver. So I know the driver's not coming in. So I'm like, they 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Just say 4. I say 4. The dude comes around with a long stick, and a camera.
A long
Check
stick and a
in
camera.
the bottom of the car for bombs and like I'm gonna come bomb your shit.
It's
Check
not
to the bottom, check
like you gonna come bomb it.
So they check in for the and then he
Dude.
opens the door and he goes, "Can I see some ID?" I'm like, "You want my ID?" They're like,
I'm joining
Lucas.
I'm
What
joining
you asking
Lucas.
for my ID.
Yeah,
They're like, "Man, we need your ID." So I'm fuck, boom, give him my ID. They're like, "This expired." I'm like, come on, bro. Like, yeah. They wasn't about to let me in because it's expired. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I said, yo,
it could be
call
fake.
Will.
You could be
Nah.
somebody else.
So then they
You
asked
could
for
be
Drew's
Johnny
ID.
Lucas. You
Nah.
could be Johnny Lucas, Joyner's brother.
Then I pull up after they give me a hard time. They're like, look, you go past the lake and then bang a right at the mountain. Then take another left up the hill. And I'm like, what the get there, take a left, right. And I'm like, oh, like this crazy. Then I drive up to the house, the big Play-Doh house that you got, right?
Yes.
I drive up there, it look like a big thing of Play-Doh. And we get up there, and then I get scolded by another 5 security guards who asked me, the first thing that they asked me is how did you get past the first security guard?
Oh, not at all. Not.
They say, hey,
Absolutely.
how did you get past the first security guards? I said, well, they just took my ID. And they was like, yo, just get in the house.
One of the most telling aspects of this whole saga is Will's reaction, or rather, his lack of reaction, to the stories being told. While the other person recounts anecdotes about Diddy's extravagant lifestyle, the intense security, and the rumors of questionable parties, Will's response is remarkably casual. He laughs. He chuckles along as if these stories are nothing out of the ordinary, as if tales of private chapels, armies of security guards, and mountains of baby oil are just everyday occurrences. He doesn't display any shock, disgust, or even mild disapproval. He reacts like someone who's heard it all before, someone who's familiar with that world. And that's precisely why so many people find his denials hard to swallow. His nonchalant reaction betrays him. It suggests that Will himself was once a part of that scene, a regular attendee at these parties, a participant in the very activities he's now so desperately trying to distance himself from. He's not reacting like an outsider looking in. He's reacting like an insider trying to rewrite history. His laughter, his casual dismissal of the stories, speaks volumes. It undermines his carefully crafted narrative of separation and reinforces the suspicion that he's trying to erase his own past, to pretend he wasn't once a part of Diddy's inner circle. This performance, with its forced denials and unconvincing displays of outrage, only serves to deepen the public's skepticism. It makes his attempts to distance himself from Diddy seem even more contrived, even more desperate. It's like he's protesting too much, and his overly casual reaction to the stories only adds fuel to the fire. It makes people wonder what he's trying to hide, and it reinforces the belief that there's much more to this story than he's letting on. And people online are very open about the fact that they don't believe a word he says. One person said, both him and his wife were all in that nastiness. Diddy/Will Smith drama. And one comment in particular seems to have resonated with a lot of people. Both him and his wife were all in that nastiness. It's a succinct statement, but it cuts right to the heart of the matter. Because let's be honest, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith are hardly strangers to controversy. Their personal lives have been the subject of public scrutiny for years, and their own history makes it difficult to accept Will's attempts to distance himself from Diddy's alleged nastiness. The most glaring example, of course, is Jada's very public entanglement with August Alsina. That whole saga, with its excruciating details and very public airing of dirty laundry, was a media circus. It exposed a complicated and messy relationship dynamic, one that involved infidelity, emotional vulnerability, and a whole lot of public speculation. It painted a picture of a marriage in crisis, a couple grappling with very real and very human struggles. So, when Will now attempts to present himself as somehow above the fray, as removed from the kind of behavior associated with Diddy's world, it comes across as disingenuous. The public has already seen a glimpse behind the carefully curated image of the Smith family, and that glimpse revealed a couple dealing with their own share of nastiness. It makes it hard to believe his performance of outrage and denial. It makes it hard to accept his attempts to separate himself from Diddy when his own personal life has been so publicly entangled in similar controversies. The comment about both Will and Jada being involved in that nastiness highlights the perceived hypocrisy of his actions and reinforces the public's suspicion that he's not being entirely truthful. It suggests that he's trying to project an image of moral superiority while conveniently ignoring his own past. And also, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Will and Jada's open marriage. This has been a topic of speculation for years, with rumors swirling about them being swingers and exploring all sorts of, shall we say, unconventional arrangements to keep things interesting. Now, they've never come right out and confirmed these rumors, but they haven't exactly denied them either. They've always been pretty vague about the specifics of their relationship, which, let's be real, only adds fuel to the fire. And when you combine that with their history of publicly discussing their marital struggles and Jada's entanglement, it creates this image of a couple who are, at the very least, open to exploring non-traditional relationship dynamics. So, when Will comes out so strongly denying any connection to Diddy's party scene, it makes you wonder, if he and Jada are comfortable with that level of openness in their own marriage, is it really so far-fetched to think they might have, at some point, crossed paths with Diddy and his crowd? I mean, let's be honest. The rumors about Diddy's parties paint a picture of a pretty open-minded environment. It's not exactly a secret that things can get pretty wild. So, knowing all of this, Will's denials start to feel a little less convincing. It makes you question whether he's genuinely trying to distance himself from Diddy, or if it's more about protecting his public image. Is he really so different from Diddy? Or is he just trying to draw a line in the sand for the sake of appearances? It just adds another layer of complexity to this whole messy situation, and it makes it even harder to decipher what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, imagine Diddy's perspective on all of this. He's sitting there, facing potential jail time, waiting for his sentence, and meanwhile, Will Smith is out here doing damage control, practically throwing him under the bus to save his own reputation. You can bet Diddy's not thrilled about that. It's like a slap in the face, a betrayal by someone he probably considered a friend. He's already dealing with a mountain of legal troubles, and now he has to contend with Will publicly distancing himself, making it seem like they were never really close, like Diddy's the bad guy, and Will's just an innocent bystander. It's a classic case of every man for himself, and Diddy's left holding the bag. He's trying to navigate this incredibly difficult situation, and Will's performance only adds insult to injury. It's not just about clearing his name, it's about making sure Diddy looks like the sole villain in this story, and that, understandably, has Diddy seeing red. Look, let's be clear, Diddy's not exactly innocent in all of this. He's facing serious consequences for his actions, and he should absolutely be held accountable. But he's still furious with Will. It's one thing to face the music for your own mistakes. It's another thing entirely to have someone you considered a friend publicly disavow you, especially when you're at your most vulnerable. Diddy's in a tough spot, facing potential jail time, and Will's performance feels like a betrayal. It's like Will's trying to rewrite history, to erase their connection, and make himself look squeaky clean, while Diddy takes all the heat. Even if Diddy deserves to be punished, he still feels wronged by Will's actions. It's a complicated situation, and it's clear that there's a lot of bad blood between these two. There's another layer of speculation swirling around all this, and it's even more intriguing. Some people believe Will's frantic attempts to distance himself from Diddy aren't just about protecting his reputation, they're about saving his own skin. See, there have been whispers and rumors about Will's own involvement in some questionable activities. Nothing concrete, mind you, but enough smoke to make people wonder if there's a fire. The theory is that Will's worried the feds might be sniffing around him too, and he's trying to preemptively clear his name by throwing Diddy under the bus. He's creating this narrative of separation, this image of himself as the responsible, upstanding citizen, completely removed from Diddy's world of alleged wrongdoing. It's a strategic move, a way to deflect attention and make sure the spotlight stays firmly on Diddy. He's essentially saying, look over there, he's the bad guy. I have nothing to do with it. It's a risky gamble, but if it works, it could save him from facing similar scrutiny. So, what do you think? Comment down below and let us know. If you like this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.